Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to Prospects and Channel 1. My name is Chris, and today joining me we have, and we're
Keelan.
going to be watching some Logan Stenberg with you guys today. He is the Lions' 4th round draft pick out of Kentucky. Is another Senior Bowl guy. Just watched James Jackson yesterday, who was another Senior Bowl offensive guard. Listed as of, I believe, the combine at 6'6", 317, 10¼ inch hands, 32.5-inch arms, and 88-inch wingspan. So, are you familiar with anything Stenberg aside from the screening reports and things like that that you probably read today?
Not at all. I didn't really know anything except for his name, position, and school before today.
Cool. So, yeah, I've been obviously keeping up with a lot of these guys as we draft them and things like that, and doing some research into these guys. Also, I'm a Cardinal fan. I root for Louisville after Michigan, and they're like basically my go-to second team because my dad's basically living there, and I kind of adopted them as like my second school, especially since they basically never played Michigan. And yeah, I am definitely very excited for him to be on my side of this now. He is very, very fun to watch, especially in live games. So hopefully we get to see some of that translate to tape. We have one game for you guys today. We're just going to watch 2019 film for now. If you guys want to watch more, there's obviously 2018 film, especially if you're a Lions fan, you want to know even more about it than what we're going to show you. I highly recommend checking those out. I'll be doing that on the side myself. But it's just for the sake of the video and saving you guys some time, we're just going to go over some of the key points. So, checking out the Tennessee game from this year. One thing that I can hint a little bit into while we wait for this to load is that he is someone who is very physical. Definitely a finisher who is aggressive, tough. He was voted the SEC's most hated player last year by his rivals. So that's the kind of guy that we're going to be getting. I've heard some Richie Incognito comps, minus the off-field issues. So that's just kind of the mold of the guy that we're going to be looking for here. Is your dominant, physical, aggressive type of run blocker. So with that said, he is going to be the starting left guard for the Kentucky Wildcats at number 71. So
Cool.
also, saw an interesting stat on him. Currently, he gave up no sacks or in one pressure over the last 2 years.
Wow.
In the SEC, over 600 pass blocking snaps. So, yeah, he definitely has the metrics and the analytics behind him as well, which is really cool to see. And Kentucky was the number 4 run blocking team, as well as an offensive line unit. So,
Interesting.
okay, that was actually an interesting first play. One thing I've heard was his weakness is pulling, so, and the athletic ability. Interesting start. Yep, there you go. First pancake of the day. Boom. Just flattens him, keeps him off leverage. But what I like about this is that he doesn't give up anything initially either. Right? So he does a really nice job of holding the line and anchoring. And then he does a great job of moving this defender away from the play before he finishes with the drive. Still 1640. I don't know, 720. I'll just go with regular 48. I like the idea. Nice recovery as well. Okay, nice. Good rep. Again, talked about the anchor. Not really any move back at all. Great arm length. You really get to see his arms in action here. He has a nice shove at the end of really utilizing those arms. Interesting. They're using him a lot more on pulls than I was expecting based on what I've seen. Was that by design? It didn't look like it. Yeah, I think that was just poor hand usage. Nice. Again, really nice job of utilizing the leverage here and getting him outside to open up this lane. Also, really nice block by the offensive tackle too, but yeah, he really does a nice job of moving this defender out of that gap and away from that hole to really maximize that running back's lane with which he has to work there. Nice drive, great push, leads to the first down. Another football. Jeez. Okay, yeah, hand placement definitely something that you want to see him work on, but he's compensating for that for the most part. In other areas of his game. And that's why the hand placement and stuff like that matters. Really want to see him get those inside and on the pads. Yep, exact same thing here. You really want to get those hands in the shoulders, in the chest pads, and engage. So that's probably the biggest thing that I heard and am seeing that he really wants to improve on. Nice. Good finish. Another really nice finish. Pancake. Kind of. Nice. Another really nice finish. So you really get to see the finishing ability here. If Johnny Jackson was Quentin Nelson the run blocker, or the pass blocker, he is Quentin Nelson the run blocker.
I see it.
The only difference is he really just needs to work on that hand placement, timing of the punch, all that stuff. Nice. Again, pancake. Nice drive. And again with the finish at the end. Interesting. even on this play, like you really get a sense of his anchor. Because they're really coming at him and they're trying to move this line back with the collapse. But he's doing a really nice job of not losing any momentum or ground. You definitely really get a feel for his core strength. Same thing. That was really nice recovery. Even though he doesn't necessarily have the best hand placement or anything in terms of that like technical play refinement, he does a really nice job of being able to kind of control that defender. Same thing there. Like, he doesn't necessarily even get his hands in the right spot. He's not even necessarily the best technically, but he's able to just completely overwhelm these tackles just with his pure strength and finish and effort. Nice single block there. Nice job of blocking him out of the play. Same thing. You're definitely getting a sense of awareness and spatial field, which is good. Another second straight play in a row where he blocks this defender out of the play and away from the direction of the run, which is a good thing. Ooh, that was a odd play. Oh, okay. Well, we'd love to see the motor. If he's not able to finish the tackle, he's running him down, which is kind of crazy.
Nice.
Another draft pick. Oh, did they switch him? It was 679, so he might be a right guard. Nope, that's 77. Yeah, the left guard is 79 now.
Interesting. He's 71,
Yeah.
correct?
So he must have gotten hurt or something along those lines. Well, that's a
Damn.
shame. Okay, but still, I guess just for the sake of the video and kind of going over this, do you want to go over one of his draft profiles so that we can kind of go a little bit more and give the people a feel?
Sure.
Cool.
Sounds good.
So we'll go to TDN to see what they have to say here.
Yeah. I usually read over Joe Marino's stuff. I think he's my favorite guy over there.
And I have to actually search TDN. Cool. So speaking of Marino, he's actually the first one that pops up. Physical nasty mauler that works to finish every blocking. We already got to see some of the examples of that. Violent, well-paced, properly timed punch that can jolt past. Okay, interesting. I think he needs to work a little bit more on that patience, but he does a really nice job of being able to recover, so I can understand that. He has opportunities to accelerate his feet and vary opponents. A tremendous grip strength, which helps him to sustain. I didn't really talk about that, but I did hint at him being able to sustain blocks. Definitely something that I really like about him as well, specifically in the run game. A semi-driven player that understands his role, which is again one of those main attractive points to us from a gameplay standpoint, is those do-your-job type guys that really understand and can carve out a niche. And that was a consistent theme for the entire Lions draft. We're going to be going over all the Lions picks at some point today. But the one thing that we really found to be a consistent theme with these day 3 guys, all of them, including Stenberg, is finding guys who can carve out their own role and fill a specific niche within the team that we lacked or were in need of last season. Whether that be Penasini as your run defending type stud, whether that be Cephas as your vice or special teams type of guy who can also run block at the receiver spot, or Huntley who can be your slot back type of receiving complement, almost like a DeAndre Swift backup rotation type of player, what I thought we'd be doing with Swift. Those types of guys can really carve out their role, and that's how they're going to make the team, especially in year one. Bobby Quinn talked about guys who can really uh, be a factor in terms of year one, and getting guys who, with a certain potential off season and workout, at least in camp and physical in person stuff, finding guys who can either know their role and be effective in translating into the scheme, or someone who can develop very, very quickly to fill a specific spot that we really want them to fill or need to fill. So that's going to be a consistent theme for all these guys that we take a look at, even including some of the DFAs too. Effective puller trapper, which is really interesting because I've heard from a couple of people that it was really his movement skills and his lack of athleticism that was the main reason why he fell. So that intrigues me a little bit. We'll probably get more into that in the negative category, but really interesting that he'll be a good pull blocker despite lack of athleticism. Pick really for him to match his play style, exploits leverage points on his opponents, which is really, really nice to see. You could kind of tell that he has an understanding of how to finish and really recovers well to get that second effort block. One question is about his ability to widen gaps and generate reverse push. We talked about widening the gaps. It's probably the main thing I look for, especially in guards, is their ability to utilize those angles and push defenders out of their gaps to make sure that you maximize the lanes when the running backs go through. So that's definitely one of my favorite things, and why I like the pick so much as I do, is finding those guys who are really able to maximize those run lanes. Started every game over the last 3 years, which is really, really nice to see that type of consistency. And his metrics really back that up. I don't remember if I said this on camera or off camera, but I think he only gave up one pressure and no sacks the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, you said that on camera.
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's all about that consistency and the ability with which he can continue to produce game after game after game after game, which is also something that we really needed at the offensive line last year. We had the guy who could fill in for a couple snaps, like Tyrell Crosby had like a good game or two. We had like guys like Taylor Decker who had like a bad game or two. He got destroyed by Arizona, as good as he is. So finding someone who can play a full 16 game schedule and be that kind of consistent player, especially next to Frank. Frank right now is one of those guys who was actually very consistent for us last year. Uh, finding someone like that will be very helpful. He gives average foot speed. Yep, there it is. Lack of athleticism is exactly the same things I've seen in the past and heard about. Combined with his top pass exploration challenges and pass protection. So one thing I talk about this a lot in the group chats, but I'm gonna highlight it again here just so we have it on video. Because I didn't talk about it in the Jackson session yesterday. Is the one thing that I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of pro grinding on the side. That's the main reason why I haven't uploaded a lot of these videos. Is I've been doing a lot of pro tape utilizing the All-22 film sessions this year uh, with the free quarantine stuff going on. And the one thing that I've noticed, both on tape and I've seen some metrics that kind of back this up, is that run blocking is becoming more and more important than pass blocking as offenses continue to evolve. Because what's happening is as we see more and more spread looks and more running backs in the slot and more open offenses and things like that, what we're really able to see is quarterbacks are getting the ball out faster than ever before. The time to throw that they need to be able to get the ball out and make their reads is quickening at a very impressive pace. And guys are making quicker decisions, guys are making quicker throws. And part of that is because your offensive tackles are, at least your average offensive tackle, because your elite offensive tackles are still elite, but the average play of your offensive tackle spots against edge rushers are going down. And what you're seeing is edge rushers are able to get quicker and quicker pressure. So to counter that, you're seeing a lot of teams get the ball out quicker, make quicker reads, make quicker decisions, make half field reads, things like that. So what's happening is your passing game is being more predicated on your receiver's ability to win quickly in the rep, whether that be a release move, whether that be a nice cut to create separation, all the things we go over in the receiver videos. While your running offense is becoming more and more dependent on run blocking as your running backs tend to get less and less, uh, I guess, distance between them and quality. It's not like the 2000s when you have like your LaDainian Tomlinson type of Hall of Fame caliber three down running backs anymore. Your workhorses who are going to get you 20 carries a game. We're not really seeing that. There's a couple exceptions, namely Ezekiel Elliott, which is why he got paid. But you're not really getting a whole lot of those types of running backs anymore. So what you really want to do to maximize your run game is to maximize, well, I'll even go so broad as to say your offense, is you really want to find your run blocking offensive lineman. And we talked about this with the Vaitai signing too, earlier in the offseason. The guys who can run block most effectively, because those are the guys who are able to open holes for your running backs. And if you aren't able to make lanes for your run game, either those guys are getting tackled for a loss behind the line of scrimmage, or they're not getting anything because they're not able to find those holes. So maximizing the run game is more and more dependent on run blocking than maximizing your passing game is dependent on pass blocking. So this definitely seems to be something that is going to be interesting to follow. And for as much as I love protecting Matthew Stafford, and for as important as that is, the number one thing that we can do to help Matthew Stafford is give him a run game. And the number two thing that we can do to help Matthew Stafford is get him passing targets. And we did a really, really nice job of addressing the run game with the offensive lineman Swift and Huntley. And we did a really nice job of being able to maximize our passing concepts that'll help us get the ball out quicker with Swift and Huntley. So that's, I think, is going to be the biggest benefit, is allowing Stafford to get the ball out a little bit quicker than he was able to last year. Moving on. Lateral mobility is disappointing, staying square, switching to rushes requires support. Yep. And pretty much exactly the same things I'd seen and heard as well. Has to with better bend. Committed way too many penalties. So yeah, that's kind of the thing with him. Is lack of discipline is definitely something that you're going to want to work on and improve, of course. Penalties are an issue. I think he got like 24 or 23 over the last 2 years, which is a lot. That's basically an average of one per game over 2 seasons, which is sample size. So that's probably going to be the biggest issue with him going forward, that we're going to really notice as fans. But hopefully, Matt Patricia and Hank Fraley, the offensive line coach this year, are going to help him work on that and really develop and neutralize some of those issues. I think part of that is because of the way he plays and his physicality and his blocking his mean streak. So if he can tone that down enough to where he can tone down the penalties, but still maintain that and make sure he finishes and is that aggressive going forward, I think there's balance there that he'll be able to find over the long term, maybe with some development, but hopefully he'll be behind Dahl, and we'll be able to get him in rotational sets first. So, anything that you've seen or read that intrigues you about him, Keelan?
I like, from what I've heard and from what the little bit we saw, I love his physicality and his he's just like really mean on the field, I guess is how I'm gonna put it. He wants to hit someone, he wants to knock them on their butt and every play, and he has a really good motor. And it's one of those. These are the type of guards I like that are completely. They just go to overpower their opponents every single play.
Cool. So with that being said, here's some of the things that we look for. I will put Tennessee on here. And I'll also count the Google game. Just so I have 2 games on here. So, some of the things, strength is going to be an easy 10 for me. Anchor is going to be a pretty easy 10 as well. Awareness, he actually did a pretty nice job of recognizing blockers for the most part as well. I didn't see anything that would show me otherwise. So that's going to be pretty nice. Hand placement is definitely something I want to see him work on and continue to grow with. It's probably the one area of his run blocking that I want to see him continue to develop and work with. Footwork is mainly fine. My bigger issue is more the movement skills. So I'm going to give him an 8 for the footwork side of things. While the movement skills are going to be, whoops, crap. The movement skills are going to be more of a 5. Actually, you know what? That's probably being too generous. I'm going to knock that down to a 3. Subman capable, more of a man blocker for sure, but I really don't mind that at all. I expect us to run a man blocking scheme, and most of our additions would tend to back that up, specifically by tie. So I'm going to go with the 8. I feel like he can block in zone 2, he's just not ideal. Angles was really nice, definitely did a nice job in that area with the 10. Seal and pull blocking was actually really impressive for someone with his lack of mobility, so I'm actually really comfortable with that there. And started every game, everything like that, but the lack of discipline, physically in game, I will bump him down to a 9 there. So, you can go over your thoughts in your categories while I calculate my grade for him.
All right. So just I haven't gotten the chance to calculate mine. So looking at yours, I don't see much I disagree with. I might lower him more on the miscellaneous / off field / whatever category, just because the injuries are a bit high.
I thought you started every game. For the last 3 years.
Or not the injuries. Sorry. I meant the penalties. My fault. He like we mentioned in the beginning of the video, he does remind me of Richie Incognito, which is fun. And on the field, he's a good player if he's not doing whatever Richie Incognito does.
So yeah, I gave him an 83, which is basically exactly where we took him at. That would be the top of, whoops, I forgot to change that. That would be the top of the 4th round, if I remember right. Oh wait, no, Iggy's is 3rd round for me. Yeah. Okay, so that's about the middle of the 3rd round. And we ended up getting him at the top of the 4th? No, we traded back. So we got him in the middle of the 4th round. So about a round later than I would have rated him out as.
Cool. Awesome. I brought him to an 86, which is pretty similar.
Oh, okay, that would actually be a 2nd rounder on my scale, so even better than I at him.
Nice.
So yeah, with that being said, I think we definitely both like what we were able to see from him, and he has a lot of ceiling upside for sure. But he also brings that floor as a run blocker that I think will be really attractive to us as that interior offensive line, that third guy. And the one thing that we really constantly complain about in terms of offensive line, uh, at least for me, I don't know about most casual fans, but personally, is the lack of depth there has really screwed us over several times. It seems like there's been so many years for just injury after injury after injury. This completely decimates our line unit. And adding depth there at that offensive line spot was something that I am always very happy with because it seems like those are the guys that always get hurt the most. And so him being able to be that offensive lineman 3, I am very comfortable with that. He's definitely someone who will be able to contribute if we have an injury, specifically to Dollar Jackson, who are my picks to be our 2 starters right now. But uh, I don't think he'll have a chance to win the starting job over Dahl. We'll see. He could. I don't expect that. But what I do expect is he'll probably get some rotational work in short yardage dash goal line. He'll probably get some rotational work at end of game situations, like, for example, we're up by a touchdown with 3 minutes to go in the game, like when we need to run the ball and shoot clock. And of course, if there's an injury, I'm fairly confident that he'll be that next man up if Del Ragnow or Jackson were to get hurt. So
Right. And the thing is, if there was a mini camp and a training camp, or we don't really know what's going on, there'd be a lot better chance of Stenberg beating Dahl out for the left guard spot. But with the lack of certainty and probably just a limited training camp, there will be less experience for him on the field. So I expect Dahl to at least win the job at week 1.
especially with how important communication is going to be along the offensive line, and Dahl having been here for several years, and specifically working with Ragnow for 2 years now, and Decker
Yep.
for even longer than that. I think him and Decker possibly both been here 4 years. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he's been here all 4 years of Decker's time here. So that kind of communication factor, I think, will definitely give Dahl at least the heads up for day one. But yeah, he'll have long-term impact as a rotational, or not as rotational, as a starter potential. But he'll be a rotational and great depth guy for us in the immediate future. So,
Yep.
anything else you want to add before we wrap this one up?
Nope, I think we're good.
Awesome. Well, that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Learned at least a little bit about what you guys can expect from Stenberg going forward, and what we think about him and his prospects, I guess, with the Lions. So, yeah. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and for now, peace out.